On today's show, we're going to cook street cart chicken.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy-to-make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
For the street cart chicken, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of fresh oregano, half teaspoon of ground coriander, 3 garlic cloves, a half cup of olive oil, salt and pepper, and you're going to need 5 to 6 boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and 1 tablespoon of vegetable or olive oil. For the rice, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, half teaspoon of turmeric, quarter teaspoon of cumin, 1.5 cups of basmati rice, 2.5 cups of chicken broth, and salt and pepper. For the white sauce, you're going to need half cup of mayo, half cup of Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, a quarter cup of parsley, and salt and pepper. Alright, so we're going to do our street cart chicken today, and we're going to need to get our first main ingredient, of course, is our chicken thighs. So we'll head over here to Poultry and grab some chicken. Alright, so we got our chicken thighs here. We're going to need about 4 to 6 of them for our servings today. These are a little bit less expensive than chicken breasts, but they have the most flavor for a piece of chicken. But we're going to debone them, and then we're going to take the skin off as well. We just want to include it. Alright, so now we're going to head over and grab our rice for our street cart chicken. And we like a long grain rice, and if we can find it, usually we get a basmati rice. Alright, so they do have the basmati rice, so this is what we're looking for. A little bit thinner rice, but it has long grain, so that's what we need for chicken. Next thing we're going to need is some chicken stock to cook with our rice. We're going to have our chicken stock here, and we're going to need just a couple cups of it, so one container's good to go. Alright, so for our street cart chicken, to marinate the chicken, we're going to need some oregano and some coriander and some garlic and olive oil and lemon juice. And then for our rice, you're going to need turmeric and coriander seed. So we'll grab all those spices and then we'll head out of here. Oregano, got our turmeric. Alright, we got our coriander. And we got all our spices, so we're good to go. So I just want to say, guys, I really appreciate everybody watching the show. It's been great to see how it's affected people's lives and how they're encouraged by what God has had me share with you guys each week. I was just out in Pittsburgh here last week, and somebody actually yelled out "Dano on the Counter" to me when I was going down the street, so I thought that was pretty neat. Just people are seeing the show, people are seeing it online, or why you guys sharing it. And you know, starting the show, we didn't really know how it would go or what would happen and who would see it or who would watch it, but it seems to be growing, and I'm very encouraged by that. I'm encouraged by your emails and text messages and comments and stuff like that that you guys have given me to help me with the attitude of the show and help us to keep it going. And I just really want to let you guys know that I appreciate all that, and that I know you guys are watching and listening, and we really enjoy the support that you guys have shown us, and hopefully we'll continue to show you guys a great show each week.
Hi, my name is Thad Dick.
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
And our family is here for your health.
If you're considering a lift chair, call or stop in and see us at Dick's Home Care. Our chairs come in a wide variety of fabrics and finishes. We even have chairs that are able to be closer to your wall in case you have a small space.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Hey guys, welcome to the kitchen, and today we're gonna make some street cart chicken, one of my favorite meals to eat up on the streets in New York City. So to start with, it starts obviously with chicken. So we have some chicken thighs here that I went ahead and marinated ahead of time. And the marinade consists of some olive oil, some garlic, oregano, and it has a little bit of turmeric in it. So what you're gonna do is just put this in the fridge and let it marinate for about an hour or so. You can even leave it in there for about 4 hours if need be. But we'll put the recipe on the show, and we'll put it online as well for you, so you can get all the exact ingredients for the marinade. So we have our chicken thighs. They're boneless, skinless, and I've trimmed the fat off them as well. So we have a saucepan here. We're just gonna heat this up. We're gonna add a little oil to it. Just kind of heat our oil up. Just about a tablespoon and a half. Now chicken thighs are gonna be a little greasy, so they're gonna have their own oils in them as well. So you don't need a whole lot of oil to start with. So we'll just coat the pan and heat that up for a second. And as that heats up, take a look at our chicken here. The aromas here are just unbelievable. Of course, that garlic hits you right away, but that oregano, it's just an awesome flavor of the chicken. And we're just gonna cook this in the skillet here, probably about a total of 8 minutes, 8 to 10, about 4 minutes on each side. So we got our pan nice and warm. I'm gonna go ahead and lay in our chicken thighs here. You hear that sizzle there, that oil. We got about 4 nice sized chicken thighs in there. Not to crowd the pan too much. We'll set this aside and we'll let these cook. Like I said, about 4 minutes on each side. All right, so we've got our hands clean here. We're gonna take a look at our chicken here. As you can see, it's starting to cook up here. And about 4 minutes on the first side, and then we'll flip it. And we'll let it go another 4 to 6 minutes on the other side. But this stuff is phenomenal. And also, they serve it with pita, lettuce, and diced tomatoes. And then it has a white sauce or a spicy red sauce. And I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever had it, the white sauce is phenomenal. I don't know if it's because it has so much sugar in it, but it is really tasty. And you could put it on anything, and it would taste awesome. So we'll the recipe for that as well. We'll put it on the show, and I will go through that with you guys as well. And you love a chicken thigh, because chicken thigh, I think, has a lot of flavor for an inexpensive piece of meat. Chicken breast, when you use it, it can dry out. This is going to have a lot of flavor and moisture in it as well. You'll find a lot of people use the chicken thigh when they're cooking. All right, so these look good. We're going to go ahead and flip these over. We'll do another 4 to 5 minutes, something like that, on this side, just till they're cooked to about 165. You don't see any pink in there. All right, so we let our chicken go for about 10 minutes, and now we're gonna take it off the heat here, and then we're gonna let it cool for about 5 minutes, and then we'll cut it up. But in the meantime, then we'll start on our rice, and we'll get that going. So we're gonna take these off the heat here and just let them rest. They smell awesome. Turn the heat off. And we'll set these aside, then we'll take them and cut them up, and we'll start on our rice. All right, so here we're gonna start with our rice. So we have our skillet here. We have 2 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna get that melted here, and then we're gonna add our seasonings to this, just to kind of get the aromas going again. A lot of the Arabic cooking, you'll see all those different spices and herbs. Just the different perfumes that those herbs have, just unbelievable. And that's kind of what we're gonna try to imitate here today. So we have our butter going. Let's gonna melt that down real quick. Won't take long. And we have some coriander here. We're just gonna add that to our butter. And we'll really just I'm not gonna really brown it, but we're just gonna stir it around in the butter and get the smells going. You know, heat it up. Let it do its thing here in the pot. And then to add to that, we're gonna have some turmeric. And turmeric, to be honest with you, doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. I don't think it's kind of a mild spice, but the color is really what we're going for here. It's gonna give us that bright yellow color to our rice. So we're just gonna cook this up a little bit. Get it till we can smell that coriander going. You can see that bright yellow color coming out. That turmeric and the butter really smells awesome. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our rice to this mixture. Now we use the basmati rice. It's got that long grain to it. A real thin rice, so it's not real starchy. It's got a really good mild flavor to it, and it's really good for this dish. So we're gonna add that in here, and then we're kind of almost gonna toast this a little bit in the skillet in this butter. We're just gonna stir this around with the spices and the butter. And it's gonna get that nice yellow color on it. Just get it nice and colored in here and toasted. You can already see that it's taken on that turmeric color already. Well, once that is good and covered there, you can see that color is taken on by that rice. We're gonna go ahead and add our chicken stock to this, and that's actually what we're gonna cook our rice into. We're gonna add our chicken stock. And we're gonna bring this to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer for about 15 minutes. So we're gonna stir this up. All right, so our chicken stock has come to a boil here. It's starting to boil pretty rapidly here. But in the meantime, I just want to give a quick shout out to my friend Reagan, who made me this awesome bracelet. And she's a big fan of the show. So I want to give a big shout out to my friend Reagan and her Grammy, Pam, and everybody at the Mangus household that watches the show every week. And I want to thank Reagan for making me this bracelet, and her little baby sister, Remy, and little baby, we don't know what the name is yet, but baby boy Mangus is coming in the next couple months. So Reagan, I just want to let you know I'm wearing the bracelet, and I appreciate you watching the show. So now that this has come back to cooking, so now that this has come to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and bring this down to a simmer, and then we're gonna cover it and let it cook for about 15 minutes. All right, so our rice is just about done here. Our chicken is done. I've got some naan here, some pita bread here that has been cooked on that tandoori pot, you know. So we're gonna just cut this up into little wedges and serve it with our chicken. And then we're just gonna cut this chicken up into little bite-sized pieces, kind of a rough chop. And then we'll take a look at our rice. Rice looks awesome. I'll give that a little stir there. Now in New York, they serve these in little to-go containers like this. You can find them at your grocery store, of course. And this is how we're gonna serve it here today. All right, to assemble this then, we're just gonna take our silver to-go pan. This is how they serve it in New York City on the street. It's a aluminum dish here. Usually you serve it with some lettuce and tomato. And then with our pita, our little naan. Put a couple pieces there with our chicken, of course. Nice good portion of chicken, and then our rice. Rice is one of my favorite parts, of course. And then, top it off, we got our white sauce, which is yogurt, mayonnaise, a little lemon juice, some vinegar, and parsley. And we'll just put some of that on top. And then our red sauce, which is a harissa red chili sauce. It's really spicy, so go really easy on it. Make sure you check it and try it before you put it all over your platter here. But I would just start with a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. And then just kind of dip your chicken and rice in it. Some people put it all over, but to each its own there. So there we have it. So I'll assemble a couple more of these, and then while I'm doing that, you guys will head over to the studio for a little quick message.
Hi, my name is Dad Dick,
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
and our family is here for your health.
If you're looking for a stair lift, I would definitely recommend Bruno stair lifts. The reason people get Bruno stair lifts from Dick's Home Care is it keeps them in the home that they love. We also have a rental program on the stair lifts. My customers coming back to me saying, I'm so glad I bought this.
Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Hey, welcome to the studio today, guys, and I just want to share with you guys a little bit more about my story and some of the things that I've had to go through in my life. And this kind of brings me to when I was about 20 years old. I had moved up here from Florida, and I was at Penn State, and I was sitting at home, and it seems like I'm always just having a random day, and then something happens out of the blue, you know? You don't have those days where something like that happens. You're like, everything seems to be going well. I got no worries or what have you. And then all of a sudden something happens, and it just throws you for a complete loop, you know? And I was sitting there, and I'm like just scratching my back, and I noticed something that like feels just a little different on my back, you know? And I'm like, I wonder what that is. And I'm like, it must be just like a pimple or something like that. I don't know. And I go and I have my dad look at it, and he looks at it and he goes, it's kind of red back there. Maybe we should have it go checked out, you know, have it checked out. And we do, and we go over to the wound care center here and have them look at it, and they're like, it looks like it might be just like a cyst or something like that, and we'll just drain it real quick, and you'll be good to go. And I'm like, all right. So they drain it, and it goes away, and then a couple of days later, it like comes back and it fills up with fluid again, and I'm like, oh man, like what's going on? And I have to go back and have it looked at again, and they're like, it looks infected, you know, we'll clean it up and we'll just send you on your way. Well, like about 2 weeks later, I end up going back, and it's not going away. And finally, they're like, we should probably do some MRIs and some X-rays on this and take a look on what's going on. And they do some X-rays and things like that. And here, if you remember back when I was 15 years old, when I had the half of my rod taken out, well, they had left the top half of that rod still in my back. And I had this metal stainless steel rod, a Harrington rod, still in my back. They had left in there from my original surgery when I had my legs amputated and my spine fused together. And the bottom half of that rod where they left was starting to dig through my back again. And just instantly went back to all that pain and everything that I'd gone through before when I was 15, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to go through this whole road again, you know? And I went to the general surgeon here, and he's like, hey, he goes, I really can't touch you. This is kind of out of my league. You need to go to a neurologist. And I went to a really renowned neurologist here in the area, and I went to him, and I sent him my MRIs and X-rays, and I went into his office, and he comes in, and he's like, there is no way I'm touching you. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you're like the best in town, you know? And he's like, there's no way. He goes, you're a complicated case. He goes, I'm sending you to Pittsburgh. He goes, I'm actually going to send you to my professor over there and see if he knows what to do, because I'm not messing with you. And it was a couple days later, and he got me an appointment over there, and I went over and met with, his name was Dr. Welsh over there in Pittsburgh, and he was like one of the head neurologists over there at the time. And I went and had a meeting with him, and he was looking at it, and he's like, well, there's no other choice but that rod has to come out. And I'm like, all right, and he's like, well, he goes, it's let me do some more tests and things like that and see what kind of infection we're dealing with and all that, and we'll come back and see you later tonight. We'll admit you to the hospital, and we'll talk about a game plan tonight for surgery, probably tomorrow. And I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I'm gonna have surgery tomorrow. Like, what is going on? And my mom was there sitting with me in my hospital room, and the doctor had come in to see us, and he sat me down, and I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, and he's like, hey, I just want to let you know. He goes, this infection looks pretty bad. It's pretty serious. It's going to be a lengthy surgery because the bone in the spine had actually grown over the rod, and we have to like chisel the rod out of the spine. And with your conditions and having previous infections, your kidney function at this point is not that great. And he goes, it's pretty risky. And he goes, I don't know if you're going to even make it. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he goes, I don't, with the condition that you're already in and the length of this surgery, he goes, I don't even know if you'll survive the surgery. And I'm like, okay, and it didn't really register to me, and the doctor left the room, and I'm sitting there with my mom, and I go to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, what did he just say? And my mom's like, well, I think he just said that, like, you might not make it. And I'm like, what? And so I call the nurse in, and I call the nurse, and I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, well, with everything going on, he just has to warn you that, we don't know how it's going to turn out. And the fear just comes over me, and I'm so nervous. I'm anxious anyways because of having surgery, but now that I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. And the surgery was going to be at like 6 a.m. the next day, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. And my mom had ended up leaving me, and she gave me a hug and a kiss, and she goes out in the hallway, and I hear her talking to my family and saying, like, you guys need to come over here, and you gotta see Daniel because we don't know what's going on, and this could be really bad, and it's making me anxious, and I remember laying in bed, and I was just crying out to God, and I'm like, God, you got to help me get through this. You've got me through so many things before. Here I am calling on you again, and drawing on that faith that he had brought me through all these other situations. And here I'm laying there, nervous about this surgery and never being told before that I wasn't going to make it. I always thought, like, all right, I've gone through 15 other surgeries up to this point that, hey, I'm going to be able to get through this one. This won't be a big deal. And but this one really hit home with me because I have this top-notch doctor telling me that I might not make it. And I'm laying there and I'm just like stressing over it, and I'm praying out to God. I'm in the room by myself, and I'm just like, God, I really need you right now, and I need you to come and give me peace about the surgery itself, but also I need you to help me feel pain when I wake up. It's never in my life that I've ever prayed to feel pain, but I knew that if I woke up from surgery and I felt pain, I was alive and I made it through. And I would have prayed, and I was like, God, just help me to wake up from this surgery and feel pain, and then I'll know that I made it through, And God had really given me a peace about the surgery that night. And I remember I was able to get just a couple hours of sleep, and before I knew it, my family was in the room, and they're coming to me, hugging me, telling me they love me and things like that. And I'm just, kind of like not even thinking about that right now. I'm just kind of thinking about this surgery and, what it's going to be like. And they take me down to the OR, and I'm laying on the operating table, and it's kind of like you feel like you're getting like a lethal injection at that point. They're giving me this anesthesia, and I'm like, is this it? Is this gonna be the last time, or whatever, And I'm laying there, and I'm just like, God, just help me, get through this, because with surgery, as soon as you fall asleep, you wake up. It's like instant. So you fall asleep and you wake up, and your surgery, it could be 10 hours long, but for you, it's 30 seconds, And so I fall asleep, and I remember waking up. And I'm in extreme pain, the most pain I've ever felt in my life. But I was like hurting so bad, but I was also so thankful that God had answered my prayers and I was feeling pain. But it didn't last long because I was like, okay, now I need medicine. I need something to help me get rid of this pain, you know? And I was like, oh man, so finally they gave me some drugs and things like that, whatever. And my pain was going away. But I was just so thrilled and excited that God had brought me through this, and I had felt pain. And here it was, another time in my life that God had brought me through something because I'd asked him to, you know? I just feel that, you know, we need to call out to God when we're in those situations. He's aware. He has a plan for us. He knows the things that we're going through. He knows what's on our heart and on our mind. And if we just call out to him, he's going to give us that peace and help us get through that. I know there's a lot of people dealing with a lot of things, and I know that sometimes you just have to feel a little bit of that pain to know that God is there. And even though he's answering your prayers, there might be a little bit of pain that goes along with it, but he is there to help you, to guide you, and see you through it. And I hope my life is just living proof of all that and what God has done in my life. And hopefully it encourages you and inspires you to trust God in everything, that he can help you get through those tough times as well. So we're going to head over to the kitchen and we're going to enjoy some street cart chicken, I think. And we'll catch you guys over there. We'll see you.
Dick's Home Care can help you stay mobile. Dick's offers a full line of scooters to help with mobility both inside and outside your home. Take your scooter with you wherever you go with a scooter lift from Dick's. They are available for most vehicles. If standing or sitting is becoming difficult, a lift chair from Dick's will make life easier. There are many styles and sizes to choose from. And Dick's honors warranties and service on what we sell. Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in mobility products.
Hi, my name is Dad Dick,
And I'm Aiden. We're the 5th generation of Dick's Home Care.
and our family is here for your health.
Purify O3 is the simple, effective way to clean your CPAP or BiPAP. It provides hospital-grade sanitation, killing 99.99% of bacteria and germs with the touch of a button. Everything you need comes in one affordable kit for just $1.90. It's available exclusively at Dick's Home Care, Central Pennsylvania's leader in home medical equipment.
Hey, welcome back. We're here at the house and we got our street cart chicken here, sitting down with the crew. Turned out pretty good, and we're going to dive in and check it out. That's good. You gotta watch that red sauce. It does. It is hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. The white helps cut it though. It's a good balance there. Yeah, it has a kick, but it's good. Actually, I like this. I didn't know if I'd like it or not.
Yeah.
It's good.
Wait a minute. Another bite here. Just like I remember it. Well, hope you at home can try this dish on your own. And hopefully it turns out just as good as this. Until next time, we'll see you, and hope to catch you next week. Take care. If you have questions or comments about the show or topics you would like me to speak about, please reach out to me, Dano at danoburkhart.com. And also check out the website, danoburkhart.com, for all the previous episodes.